I'm good. I'm good. It's good to talk to you.
Yeah. I just got sent a copy of new album, Damned If You Do. Man, it kicks ass. It's just old school, classic thrash. I really like the production on it. Yeah, can you tell us a bit about the album? You're still pumping out good stuff after all these years. What are your thoughts on the, final release of the album?
Well, I'm very happy with it. And, Kurt and I go into the studio in his house and write and record albums like we have from the very beginning. So we approach it with just trying to have as much fun as we possibly can and not overthink it. And just if it feels good to us, we carry on with it. And if it doesn't, we move on. So having said that, we went in the studio, had a really good time, and we just hoped for the best, and we were very happy with it. So since it came out, we've been getting very good reviews, and that just really makes us feel great.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you toured Australia? Have you got any plans for, coming down under sometime?
Yeah, well, we don't have any plans, but every time we speak to Australians, we always say we want to come very badly, and we've been trying to get down there for a while now, but it's a long way to come, and we need a promoter down there to take a chance on us and maybe give us an offer. So if you happen to know any promoters in the area that want to take a chance on Metal Church, then hit them up and tell them we're ready.
Oh, I know a few, so let's see if we can get it done. It'd be awesome.
That'd be great. We'd love to come there.
Yeah. So this is your second album with Metal Church since you rejoined the band. How have these few years been? You all get along? You're all friends?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing about being in a metal band in our age group now is we're all adults. So,
yep.
I think that helps, and I think we all know who we are pretty much. And, all the other guys in the band are great guys, and we get along just fine. So it adds to the chemistry, and it's very enjoyable to be in a band with such fine musicians.
Yep, sure. And you're out of Metal Church for, over 10 years. What did you do in those years that you were out of the band?
It was more like 25,
20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy, yeah. I lived my life just like everybody else does. I was a carpenter builder and raised two boys.
Nice. So you just kind of felt like, you missed the stage and you missed, the metal, I guess, and then you decided to rejoin?
No, it didn't go down like that at all. It went down like out of the blue. I got a call from Kurt Vanderhoek, and he invited me back. And at first I was apprehensive, and I was happy to be retired and had a great career, and very grateful for what I had. Mm-hmm. But because he's a friend, an old friend, and I was open to listening to his proposition, basically. And, we had long talks, a lot of talks about how the music industry had changed and how file sharing was making it more possible to live in different areas and have family life and not take up cut into your personal time as much, So with the advent of technology in that way, it really helps facilitate being in a band that's all these other things going on, So we just started with writing a record because I said, well, I'm not coming back to Metal Church for nostalgia's sake. If I'm going to do this, I want to make sure we can write music, still just as good, if not better, than what we were doing before. So we took it baby steps, and so I came up with how he started writing some songs. What he does is he writes a basic structure of a song and sends it to me, and I listen to it. And when he gets a handful of songs, I fly up and go into the studio, and he puts up a microphone, and I just shout out whatever comes naturally. And if we like the way it sounds, we keep it. If we don't, we move on. And then we do that a few times until we get we had a good amount of songs, and we really liked what we were doing, so we put it out, and that went well. And then I said, okay, I'm ready to go on the road with that. And each album we take the same philosophy, and this time around we did the same thing, and we were very happy with the end result. And now we're going to take it on the road next year.
Yeah, I've just kind of been listening through your entire back catalogue, and I think like Metal Church, you're really like a band that sticks to your guns. I know a lot of like your other, thrash bands that you'd play with, like Metallica, Megadeth, even Testament, they kind of went in a more mainstream direction for a while, but you guys really seem to have just stuck with thrash metal, with that, new wave of British heavy metal kind of influence too. Was there ever a time in your career where you thought, well, maybe we could be a bit more mainstream and, make it onto the radio charts and do that kind of thing?
Well, for us, we were just being honest, This is who the songs we write, and how we write is what comes out of us naturally. We don't really think about it. We don't overthink it. It's just who we are as people and what we like in our music. So the style of metal we play and write is what we like to hear, So we don't ever think about, we should try to do this or something different. We just play what comes naturally to us, and our chemistry together is something special to me, and this is what is the product of that. And we don't ever try to second guess it or overthink it and change it. We just it's a combination of he and I getting together, and Kurt knows, when he's coming up with riffs and writing structures of songs, he knows my voice, and he's hearing it in his head and writing to that. So then when we get together and I put my melodies and shout out some lyrics and work on it, it just becomes what we do together and what we've always done together.
Yeah, definitely. And have you got any other, shows and tours planned up this year in America?
Well, we've got the usual festivals in the summer in Europe that we accept. When we offers, we accept some festivals, and then we fill in dates around those festivals and put a tour together. And right now we're in negotiations with our booking agency to hopefully do a spring tour of the United States, April, May-ish. So right now we're working on those dates, but they're not solidified. So as soon as they are, they'll go up on our website and our Facebook page, and everyone will know.
I got to ask you one question. I just thought it was a little funny. When I was going through your back catalogue, I was listening to the album Hanging in the Balance, and it's quite an odd album cover. I was just wondering who was behind that album cover. It's got the fat punk girl with looks like the world painted on her and a peace symbol. I was just wondering, is there any story behind that album cover?
Well, there's a huge story behind that album cover, and the huge story is that album cover right there was like one of the final straws that broke Mike Howe's back and led me to leave Metal Church and the business, because that was an album cover that was paid for and designed by our manager, an artist he liked, who did some Grateful Dead stuff and presented it to us, and I said, that is ridiculous. I hate that cover.
Yeah.
And he pushed it out anyhow, and so that right there is one of my case in points about how messed up the music business was back then, and how I had to get out before it ruined my love of my band. Yeah,
definitely. I know as like a younger metalhead before we had the internet, I'd buy albums solely based on a brutal looking album cover. I probably wouldn't buy that just based on the cover, so maybe not the best marketing decision.
That's right. So it was just proof that we picked the wrong manager, and that's a bad thing.
Yeah, but it's actually a pretty good album. I had to listen to it, and it was pretty good.
Well, thank you. And that's what, sustained me through it, was I was proud of the music we'd written. It was just being marred by bad decisions from management and record companies. So that's why I left.
Yeah, for sure. And just wondering, what kind of music were you listening to when you joined Metal Church, and what kind of bands are you listening to now? Have you taste in music changed much over the years?
Oh, yeah, good question. No one's asked that one yet. Yeah, I mean, obviously, well, not obviously, but when I was younger, I was influenced heavily by Judas Priest and AC/DC, and Bon Scott, the singer for AC/DC, and Rob Halford were my two heroes, and I tried to meld their styles together. Rob's incredible range and power with Bon Scott's attitude. He just had an incredible attitude, and so those were my two heroes. So that was the kind of music I listened to, when I was starting off in heavy metal as a singer, in a local band in Michigan where I grew up. And now, 25 years later, getting older, I love all musics and all kinds of music, and I get inspiration, and I try to keep an open mind and listen to many different styles to try to, because I'm just a music fan.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's pretty much all the questions I've got, but definitely love to see you guys coming down to Australia. I know there's been a lot of old school thrash bands coming down lately. Voivod's coming next year, and we've had Creator and Sodom, all those sort of bands. So I don't see why Metal Church can't come too. So if you get a chance, that'd be great to see you guys tour Australia.
I would love to. We would love to. So that sounds like all those bands. We're right there with them. So like I said, we've got to get our a promoter down there to get in touch with our Loud Noise booking agency in Europe and get her done, as they say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I hope it happens, and thanks very much for taking your time out today. It's great to speak with one of the legends of thrash metal.
Oh, well, that's kind of you, and it's the pleasure's all mine, Levi, and you have a great day, and thanks for spreading the word of Metal Church for us.
No worries. Thanks, Mike. See ya.
You take